This is Overtime, a weekly moment of off-the-cuff commentary on everything from sports and politics to observations about everyday life from NFL All-Pro Carl Lee. Welcome to Overtime.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee from Let's Talk, and this is my Overtime segment. And I just had a good open conversation about travel football, and everybody who's heard me before, you realize that I am a true dislike of travel football. But I got a chance today to talk to a gentleman named Corey, and in regards to Dr. Lavender, which everybody knows Dr. Lavender, who they have a travel team with a focus on winning and, I believe, in safety as well. And if you didn't see the clips of it, this is a team that focuses solely really on development, and playing is the fallout of it, I think. And I know there's a lot of us out there, man, that love football, and we've outgrown our ability to play, and we have opportunities to grab talented young players and put them on the field and make them great. Because of our offense, our defense, our skills, our play calling, we like to take a lot of that credit for these kids. And there's a lot of parents who realize that their kid is really pretty good, and he's better than the rec league, and we want to get him into travel ball because travel ball is going to get him exposure. Okay, that's not true. Okay. Exposure is something that he can get anywhere, but you can travel across the country. But I don't think there's going to be a college scout at a youth eight and under or so travel ball. I just don't think that's happening. But I could be wrong. But I bet you I'm right. So we don't need. To me, we don't need the craziness in the travel ball. If you're going to do it, okay, there's nothing wrong with playing in a rec league. There's nothing wrong with doing other things. But football is just that thing that you can't do all the time. And parents, I'll say this as direct as I possibly can so that you can get it. Football is a sport that the results of that sport will show up much later. It won't show up right now, even if you twist an ankle or break a finger or break a leg or something like that. That's not the injury that football is most noted for. Okay? Those are simple injuries that come. Everybody expects to have those types of injuries when you play football and you play it a lot. When you're playing football more times, more often than you should, there's another situation that comes into play. I'm not even going to bother even going into the details of what that is because everybody ought to know it by now. I think that you need to take a look at your kid's football schedule. It's practice schedule. You got to go to practice. You got to see what's happening. Because if they're doing football and playing football and hitting in football during the week and then they're playing on the weekend, it's a lot of contact. A lot of contact. And I heard the craziest statement ever in talking about this show prior to. someone said, that, the development, the kids don't hit enough to actually hurt, to hurt themselves in that way, because the physicality is not there. The problem with that theory is not only the development of the kid is not there either. So the consequences of, a full-grown man having contact, head-to-head contact, grown man, fully developed, obviously we know what that can cause. A young kid, undeveloped, getting hit at a lesser level, what should happen in that scenario? There's a legitimate risk when a kid falls on the ground and hits his head with the helmet on the ground. He falls, can't catch himself, gets hit in the knee, or gets hit a knee to the helmet. To that undeveloped young man, you think there's not a risk there. Let's say maybe there's not a risk, but are you willing to take it? Are you willing to say, are you really willing to debate that issue with someone who is trying to tell you that if you're going to do travel football, because people are going to do it regardless of what I say, that's for sure. You're not going to listen to me. But if you're going to do it, at least protect your child. You got to stay at practice. You need to look at it. You need to have some conversations with the coaches and ask them, what type of contact are we having? What are you expecting from my child? How many games will we be playing consecutively? Are they running the clock during the game? Because if you don't know those things and you're just thinking it's just a regular football game, I don't know if you know enough. And I promise you, to the gentlemen who do these things, who host these, if I were you, I would reach out to Dr. Lavender and that group, and I would see if we could follow that pathway. Because you're talking about a doctor, an athletic phenom doctor, as far as that goes, who is making sure that he's doing the best that he can to protect these kids. I give that due, because football is what it is. It's not something that is overly safe long term, but it is something that you can actually at least try to prevent some of these long-term injuries. Can't do anything with a broken leg, broken arm. Can't do anything with that. But the thing that we can try to do is try to protect our child the best way we can, and not putting him in a situation where he has to play multiple games, go back to youth football, play a game there, practice in the week, hit, do all those kind of things. Because if you're doing travel football and then you come back to youth football and you still may have to practice, and now you're still playing another game, and those games, are not maybe as fast as the travel games, at least the travel games that Corey and those guys were talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm truly not trying to scare you, but I'm just trying to tell you, trying to get you to understand football. If you're going to have your kid playing any kind of football, you are accountable for the safety of your child. Don't put that on the coach, because they don't care. Not all. I can't say not all. But if your kid's playing multiple games, practicing full contact at practice constantly, you need to ask a question. Because I think that's important. And for the folks who do that, you can debate me on this all that you like. You can say that I'm hurting your thing. Well, football hurt me. It's hurt me, and it has taken a ton of my friends away from me. So I think that I'm okay. I'm comfortable. I feel good about speaking this to you because I think it's about safety and it's about the kids, and I don't have any choice. It's just how I feel. All right, that'll be it for me. I will get back to you again soon. Talk to you later.
The opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WVRC Media, its management, employees, or sponsors. Contact Carl Lee on email, letstalkcarllee@gmail.com, or text 409-422-7539.